that was interesting. Just spent like the last 2 hours doing cleaning. It sucked butt. Completely sucked butt. Well, you know, beggars can't be choosers. Well, I've got some art already set up. So, because last time I was not prepared. I just pressed start and then realised I had nothing to draw. So that was a bit of a panic episode last time, which is interesting. But I have got my sketchbook open. I've got art set up. So, alright. Should be good. I think. Hang on, let me double check. Yeah, everything's good. Cool. Right, I'm going to transition over. Oh! Hi! Hey, baby. Nice to see you. How you doing? Here we go. On the sketchbook. Sweet. Okay. So, just flip this over so I can draw properly. And oh, laggy. Yeah, this is what I'm doing to know. These characters here, they're solely for like their you know, these ones. They're solely for reference in style and not completely in like colour or anything. Since, you know, Pinterest is not exactly the greatest for references. Sorry I'm late, Google's updating. It's fine. It's fine. You're not late. But yeah, so I've got these all done. I sorted this out last night. Like, I was planning to draw Illinois, but I decided not to. Because I have a wheel on, like, Google. It's like, Wheel of Names is the site. But I used that, and it came up with the Septic Egos. So, you know. I already love it? Yeah. It's brilliant. So, right. Now I gotta figure out how to draw these characters onto these. Well. First of all, I'm incorporating these ears, because headcanon, he does have those types of ears. Like, we can't see it, because he's possessing Sean's body and can't manipulate it to his own image very easily. Because you can't really do that with a host. You can't manipulate the physical form to your own. Not enough to, like, properly mutilate it. Okay, where to start? Let's start with the chair. Let's start with Mr. Chair here. Yes, the chair of the man. Respectful enough for JJ to sit on it. Oh my god, that's the same grey. Look at that. Look how much that blends in. Like, it's like I'm not even drawing. Look at that. I did not realise that. Okay. I'll make that a bit lighter then. And probably move that down to a 5. 10. There we go. Now we can see it. Woo! There we go. Illinois, my beloved. Illinois is well loved. Like, I get, like, people not liking him. Too flirty, too Indiana Jonesy, you know. there are plenty of reasons you could not like him, but in this household, we like Illinois. This is an Illinois-loving household. I may have to turn up the opacity. Seeing those lines is getting a little difficult. There we go. Doo-doo-doo. Oh, he is he? What, flirty? Yes. Like, it's not even debatable. He is flirtatious. Is there a reason behind him flirting? That has not been canonically established. But say what you will. Yeah, I've spent like time to become an LA auntie. No, no, leave the poor boy alone. He wanted adventure. Is it just me though, or does like Illinois have an ever so slightly war stash feeling to him? Like, I can't quite describe the reasoning behind it, but perhaps it's like the danger magnet part of it. You know, the losing the partners part. I don't know, he has slightly, just ever so slightly war stash vibe to him. No, I hate him and his hat. Oh, come on, the hat's not that bad. The hat's pretty decent. I actually got an Indiana Jones hat a couple months back when my parents took me to Disneyland Paris. That's it. It was only the second time I've ever went. I don't remember the first time, or very, very, very vaguely remember the first time, because I was like a proper toddler back then. I was like an actual toddler. We couldn't go on like 90% of the rides because I was a toddler and my sisters, being younger than me, were like pretty much babies. It's like Hannah, the middle child, she was just about reaching toddlerhood, I think. And Amanda was, like, both of them were, like, just about reaching toddlerhood, actually. But I think Amanda might have been a baby. I'm not entirely sure, but, like, we were way too young to remember. Even with Amanda's Dory memory. We've actually started doing that now. We've nicknamed her Dory because, like, half the time she can't remember anything she did the previous day. Like, if you ask her, she sometimes doesn't even remember like the things she does during the day, especially if it's school stuff, which I vibe with because school is boring and why pay attention, but still. Like, come on, man. You should be able to remember, like, a little bit. But yeah, we started calling her Dory. She has that whole, love-hate relationship with the nickname. Because she does use it, but only when we do. Like, she'll reference that we're using it. But otherwise, she doesn't call herself Dory. She's just... she doesn't have the greatest memory in the family. Pretty sure my granny has better memory than her. Most of the time. Okay, a little bit of an argument in chat there, but we stand Illinois in this household. We stand Illinois in this household. Yeah, I have like an Indiana Jones hat, which I bought in the Indiana Jones section. Well, it wasn't the Indiana Jones section per se, but like, it was next to the Indiana Jones ride. I can't remember the name of it, but it had a loop-de-loop in it, which was fun. That was a nice experience. I mean, I think the hat cost like either 30 or 50 euros. I can't remember, but it's a nice hat. He deserves it, stupid hat. Imagine owning anything similar to it. Thanks. Thanks. I feel so appreciated. Wow. Okay, now onto the characters. Let's do his hair first. And so I'm gonna do JJ first. He's the one sitting on the chair. But he does have a bit of a Wolfstache-esque mustache, doesn't he? Like, I don't think that was intentional in any way. You could also relate it to Mumbo Jumbo if you wished. But, you know, in classic mustache fashion. Ugh, fuck's sake. I'm experienced with drawing mustaches because I used to draw mustaches. Like, I used to draw the Wolfstache. Not the actual character, just the pink mustache. At my secondary school. Which, if you don't know, is the school before you go to college. Start at 11, end like 13, 16. Depending on when you're born, maybe even 17, if you're not lucky. But, yeah. Yeah, so. I drew a lot of Wolfstaches. I also drew a lot of flowers, for some reason. And a lot of Septic Sams. A lot of Septic Sams. Like, most of the time it would be just, like, the sort of Hawaiian flower, which was, like, this. I would do this a lot. In, like, bunches. Which is quite cute. I like it. But, yeah. I used to do that a lot. Because, secondary school was boring, so I had, like, a notebook. I'd write, like, legitimate notes down in it sometimes. But most of the time, I would just fill it with nonsense doodles and stuff. But yeah. it was fun. I'm gonna make the eye a bit smaller. Because I feel like that's a bit too big. I'm doing them dun brows. I think I'm just gonna do like a little thing there. There. There we go. That looks good. Oh boy. Life is boring. Been really bored with like college and stuff. Like we're on a final major project now, but like I haven't done anything. Like I haven't had any ideas. So I'm kind of like sitting in class while everyone's doing work and just sitting there watching like animal videos. Why animal videos? Because what the fuck else am I supposed to watch? If I just... There's no shame in plagiarizing off yourself. That's something I learned. Like, if you are doing something... Where the fuck is it? Where'd it go? Yeah, well, something I learned quite quickly was that actually don't be afraid to... Ooh, race brow. That actually looks rather good. But yeah. Though, like, if you're doing digital art, or even art in general, to be honest, you're perfectly capable of, like, plagiarizing off yourself. Like, picking an image and, like, stealing something off it, because it's your drawing. You're allowed to do that. And, like, because I saw someone trying to draw, like, a centaur type creature who was holding, like, a staff. And, well, you know, it was nice, but they couldn't get the staff right, so they just took one of their own images and put it over the top of the current one that they were drawing. Like they stole the staff off their own image and used it for the current image they were drawing. Man, there's a lot of thudding outside my room. So it's either someone moving something about or the cat's having a zoomies moment. Well, chat. Wow. Hey, could you two perhaps not I mean, I can't say much, to be honest. I can't judge, actually. I was gonna say stop flirting in chat, but then again, you know... Would you rather battle all of Mark's egos or Jack's? Oh, Jack's. Because Jack has less egos. and in all honesty, I think I'd rather deal with, like, Marvin and Auntie rather than Dark and Wilford. Because Auntie, yeah, he's a teleporting glitch demon. And Marvin has, like, Doctor Strange sort of powers. But, like, Dark is a superficial, malicious entity with powers, like, beyond what we understand. And Wilford is a extremely mentally unstable, gun-wielding reality bender. Like, to be honest, I think I would rather be at the end of Auntie's knife rather than at the end of Wilford's gun barrel. Rather be stabbed than shot, my dude. Had a whole enemies to lovers arc in chat. Wow. Wow. I'm so very impressed with your competence. I'm gonna add some depth to the eyes. Oh, that looks weird. Ooh, character idea though. If Hal could, like, make some... Oh, that looks strange. That does not look like JJ at all. Where is our sweet boy? But, if Hal could make, like, concept art of PM, Puppet Master, I would be greatly appreciated, because then I could draw, like, JJ and PM back to back. Because I'd love to do that. Because that sounds cool. Lot of line drawing. Lot of line drawing. That does not look like JJ! I don't know why, it's so weird. It's so weird. I'm gonna make the ears slightly smaller, I think. Like, why are they standing out that much? Well, why is that standing out so much? I don't know. Something about that's bugging me now. Maybe it's this. That sorted it. Great. That's what fucking sorted it. Okay. Angled sideburn? There we go. There we go. That's our respectable boy. They all have, like, wavy hair. Because I do these, you know, hair flicks and stuff. Like, I do those. I draw my hair like this. But it's only ever occasionally like it. Like, my character is more accurate to what my hair looks like in real life. Alright, Markfoot, you need the hat. You need the hat. Are we including Bing, Septiceye, and Angus, and Robbie the Zombie? Well, I don't know. Because if you count non-canonical egos, so that's, like, Angus, Robbie, Bing. Although I never really counted Bing as a Septiceye, because I've only ever seen Bing a plier. So, like, I imagine, like, Google as the strategic, cold-blooded older brother who is nothing but a perfectionist, and then Bing is just a really, really irritating younger brother who can't do shit for shit and is just a complete and utter frat boy. But at the same time, while he's a frat boy in, like, personality and how he acts, he can still respect women. Like, I had kind of, like, Google hates humanity. We all know that. It's canonical. He wants to destroy humanity. But I like to think that Bing is not like that. Like, he's kind of fond of humanity. Not in a huge way, but he, like, definitely respects them. Especially women. Like, he no disrespect the women. He no disrespect women. That looks so weird. What? Why is it blue now? Why did I click blue? Must have been my palm. That doesn't look right. I can't put my finger on to why. When Google was first made, people made Bing Septiceye, then Mark made Bing a player. He's a thief. He's not, though. Because Bing a player was canonically created. Sean never made Bing Septiceye. If Bing Septiceye had been made by Sean and not a fan-made character, much like Auntie is a fan-made character that Sean kind of took into play. If like Bing Septiceye was a literal canonical ego that Sean created and then Bing Applier was created, maybe then you could call Marky Boo a thief in a general concept sense. But I don't think he is a thief because Bing Septiceye is not a canonical ego. Therefore, the concept is not thieved. At least not off Sean's channel or anything. I would like to fight He-Who. It would be like putting a dog down. It would not. Just hit him with a shovel. It goes down in like one hit. Shovels. The weakness of He-Who. But thing is, do Unisonus egos count? Because Unisonus is gone. Like, I hate to say it, I hate to be the one to point it out, but it's gone. It's forever in the darkness. It is lost to time and space now, and the data of YouTube. It's in the YouTube graveyard. Like, I hate to admit it, but it is. It is in the YouTube graveyard. And it has been for a while. Like, think about that, actually. Because, like, Unisonus has actually been dead for a while. I mean, so is my granddad, but I couldn't give a shit. Oh, look at me being cruel. I couldn't give a shit about my grandparents. No, but, like, I wasn't close to my granddad, so I don't give a shit. Like, come on, man. Do Unisonus characters actually count? Would they count? Can they count? Can they count, though? Can Unisonus characters count? Unisonus counts. Okay. So, that's just thing now. Okay. Great, now I have this. Hold on. There we go. That got rid of it. So just duplicate that. And now we gotta flip it over. got a perfect bow. For a perfect boy. JJ's a good boy. JJ is a wholesome good boy. He's not actually trying to hurt anyone. Like, he never wants to. It's never his fault. In a sense. I don't know. Yes, they cannot count. Little brain, no thoughts. Yes. The Unisonus egos have no thoughts in their heads. At all. Like, you can see it. If you look at them, you know that there are no brain cells behind that creation. If I draw out where it's gonna be. No, that doesn't look right. That does not look right. So it would be about there. That's sort of where it would be. It's like he a dapper boy though. JJ be a dapper boy. A respectable dapper boy. Oh. Oh, I didn't realise the music had stopped. Oh yeah, because it was only like 10 minutes long. Jeez. There we go. Now I got some music back. That's nice. Didn't realise I've been in silence for the past few minutes. Last 20 fucking minutes. Oh boy. Canonically, which ego has the biggest S? Illinois, obviously. Come on. Wilford got that dump truck though. Come on. Don't disrespect him like that. We know Wilford has a dump truck. Like, that man has no shame in walking around in boxers. We have seen that. Like, he has no shame. He is all for showing off that ass. We know this full well. If I take this and then squish it like that. Ooh, there we go. There we go. That looks good. Sort of. Okay. I'm not disrespecting the facts, I'm just stating facts, and the fact is, Illy's ass be bigger. No. No. Like, I hate to say it, but Illy does not have the best ass. Okay, we have only said he has the big ass. But canonically, come on. I don't know, Yancey spends a lot of time in prison. He would want to make sure he keeping the ass thick. Oh my god, are we actually discussing? Are we actually discussing how fat aft the egos are? Like, are we actually debating the thickness of the pliers? Like, come on. God, we're better than this. We all know that the pliers have, like, them dump trucks. Them nice juicy bits. But, here's the thing. Here's the thing. What about septic egos? Like, I get it. All the pliers have them dump trucks. They have them big butts. However, what about the septic egos? Google be flat though. Well, I think Eric would have the flattest amongst, like, the pliers. Actually, you know who probably has, like, the biggest ass would probably be Captain Magnum. Because he is physically the largest, so it is natural that he'd have the biggest ass. So, you know. Just putting that out there. He would have the biggest. I can't draw hands. I can't draw hands, and apparently this person can't either. Because, oh my god, what is that thumb? It's like you're trying to do crown just gone. Yep, that's good enough. Like, bro. No, but that is not enough. So... I'd say anti, but I'm up for debate on that. Jackie and I have a good ass. Yeah. Could. Like, Robbie is probably pretty flat, to be honest. Like, he is a zombie. He don't need that cake. But, like, cause I don't know. We got a posh boy here. I think maybe Marvin. Marvin's a good contender. Like, I'm not sure how to explain it, but this man right here, he does not give me straight vibes. And I don't know how to explain it, but he's probably a switch. However, sorry, I had to sneeze there. He would probably, I'm not sure. Would Marvin be a top though? Like, he's definitely a switch, but is he primarily a top or primarily a bottom? Because I don't know, because he's a man, but he gives me dominatrix vibes. Like, that man would so walk around in, like, a crop top, his cape, his mask, and, like, thigh-high boots with, like, really short shorts. Like, he would be that person. Marvin would absolutely be that person. Like, you cannot deny, the man's got style. But, like, his position? I don't know. I like the music I made, to be honest. This forearm right here is really bothering me because it's not proportional. It doesn't look right. Like, where's the elbow? They're just like, they drew the elbow. Like there was supposed to be like an elbow there. There was supposed to be an elbow. Like, my man's got no elbow. They erased that elbow. And I think that's the one thing that doesn't make this look quite right, is the fact that they just erased the elbow. Or the existence of an elbow. Okay, yeah, that needs to be a bit of a bigger palm there. Just maybe like that? Or more like that. Okay. Well, there. Like that. That looks good. I'm gonna make his finger longer. Give him a bit of bend in that finger. That also doesn't look right. I'm going to just... God, what the frick was that? Gonna take that. Just move you there. Just... think... If we move the fingers close together... probably look more natural that way. Instead of it looking like JJ's got the weirdest hands in existence. Nope. These also need to be kind of bigger. Okay, so let's erase all the funky bits here. That looks better. That definitely looks better. I'm just going to adjust the plate in accordance to where the fingers are, because at the moment it basically looks like the plate is coming off his hand. Like it's like half sitting on his hand. Like, my man's holding it. Come on. going to an anime con, well, an anime and gaming con tomorrow, which will be fun. I've never been to a con before, so it should be interesting. I think it'll be fun. I think my mom's trying to guilt trip me into taking Dad, because, like, she's saying he really wants to spend time with you, he really wants to bond with you, but she's making excuses not to go with me. Because, like, don't get me wrong, Dad's okay sometimes. Not the best dad, but also not the actual worst. Like, he's kind of supportive. Most of the time. Like, this is what I think about. Like, this face. This face right here is what I think of. That is my expression whenever someone mentions, do I like my dad? Because I'm not entirely sure myself if I do like him. Because he is a little bit too much sometimes. Like, he's not the worst, but he's a narcissistic parent. So naturally my response is going to be, he's not that bad while he's doing something fucking awful. Like, I'll notice he's doing something awful, but then he'll do something nice for me. And then I'll end up feeling like the asshole for not liking him. Because, like, that's the thing. He does do nice things for me. However, that still doesn't make him a great parent. You know? Like, he's trying, and he doesn't want to be like his dad. Like, my granddad before him, because his dad was an asshole, even more than he is. But, like, still. Like, if your parents aren't supportive, if they aren't nice, you don't want to grow up to be like them. But the inevitability of it is that you are going to end up like them in some way. And it might not always be the best way, it might be the way you hate. Like, you might have gotten one of your parents' temper. Like, I've got my dad's temper, which isn't a great thing. I can become irritated very quickly, depending on the situation. So, like, it's not the best. You don't want to be like your parents, but you do end up being like them in a way. As much as you hate it, that is the reality of the situation. You will be somewhat like your parents no matter how hard you try, because you have their DNA within you. You are going to develop some of their traits, or traits that you associate with them. So, like, Dad's not the worst, but he could be better. He could definitely be better. Like, I hate... Okay, how do I explain this? I don't hate, I can't think of the word now. Can't think of the word. Brain dictionary not working. Self-diagnosing. That's it. Like, I don't hate self-diagnosing. Like, if you put a ton of research into it, if you do, like, hours of research, you check medical sites, and registers and like note down your symptoms and what seems familiar and what doesn't, and then you try to say I have this thing, then I'm less likely to be skeptical of your conclusion. Like, I've done that myself. Like, I'm pretty sure I have anxiety and or depression and maybe a learning disability, considering for the last 3 years I've been in almost a constant state of burnout, which is horrible, by the way. It is not nice at all to be in that state for so long, but like, I did a lot of research, and like, usually anxiety and depression isn't typically thought to be genetic, but it can feed over into your children depending on the influence you have on them. And considering both my parents have depression and anxiety, each of them like peaking in one or the other. Like, my mum peaks with anxiety and my dad peaks with like depression. But like, that then affects me and my sisters directly because they are the ones raising us. We are experiencing their issues, and that is feeding onto us, even if they don't mean to do it, even if it's like unintentionally influencing us. And like, I don't want to say I do have them for certain because I haven't got a full medical diagnosis, but I haven't got a medical diagnosis because I haven't gone to see anyone, because I haven't got the phone number for the doctors to be able to phone them. And like, I tell my mum and she's like, well, phone the doctors then. I don't have the number of the doctors near us. I don't have the number of the GP. So I can't call them up if I don't have the number. That's the issue. And it bothers me. Like, I want to get a diagnosis. I want to know if something is legitimately wrong with me, or if I am basically just being an attention whore, which I'm not intentionally doing it. Like, can you be an attention whore without being intentional about it? Like, is that a possible thing you can do? Because, like, I'm not doing it for attention. I don't care that, like, I don't care about someone's opinion of how I am, unless it's a doctor. Like, if someone says I'm weird, that's just, like, that runs in the fucking family. Mentally ulterior? Yeah. Yeah, I am not mentally stable. My little sister Amanda, I think she's taking things too far. Like, she's saying, oh, I have anxiety or I have depression, but she's not actually put research into it. She's going off what she knows of me and what I've said in the past about people who have anxiety and depression. Like, she's basing it pretty much solely on that. She hasn't done any research herself. Like, she could just be doing it for attention because, you know, she's the youngest, she gets attention. But, like, at the same time, it's a pretty serious accusation to self-diagnose yourself with something that can be life-threatening in a serious situation. God, this fucking conversation is getting dark. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm getting really philosophical during these streams for no apparent reason. But yeah, like, I want to be able to get a diagnosis. something that I can, you know, rely on. Something that I know myself with, right? And I want to, you know, I want to get a diagnosis so that I can comfortably say I have this or that and have an explanation behind some of the strange things that are happening with me. Because with a person who is mentally stable, these things don't happen. They have stability. They have an understanding of themselves and are quite comfortable with that. They're quite understanding. They can go throughout their day-to-day lives without worrying, is there something wrong with me? Because a mentally stable person doesn't go, is there something wrong with me? Like, when have you ever heard a mentally stable person say that? Because they don't. A mentally stable person doesn't worry about their state of mind on, like, a day-to-day basis, anyway. Like, after a traumatic event, obviously, you're gonna worry about, oh, how is this gonna affect me? How am I going to cope? That sort of thing. Well, that's perfectly fine. But if it's a traumatic event, you're then not mentally stable, so... you know. But, like... that's what bothers me. Because I want to get a diagnosis so bad. Like, so bad. But nobody is helping me get towards getting that diagnosis. Like, I've talked to several of my friends, people who are mentally stable, or people back in my secondary school who are mentally stable. Like my friend Harry, or he used to be my friend anyway. He was kind of an asshole after the not all men thing came out, but like he noticed that after the pandemic I was so much worse than before. Like, everything was fucking horrible for me. Like, I couldn't concentrate in class, I was getting distracted more often, my daydreaming was getting out of fucking control, I was using it as an escape from work, and that had like a visible impact on my, on what I did. Like, my my attendance didn't suffer any. Like, I was still attending classes. It was just my attention to learning, the effort I was putting in was lackluster. Like, even my art teacher was noticing that because I was having, like, art block for weeks on end. And I still do now. Like, I still get art block for weeks on end, which sucks ass, by the way. Because when you're trying to do something, you know, it's not fun when you don't know what you're doing. But, like, I don't know. I want a reasoning behind why my concentration and work during class has been affected. Like, I want to know why things have gone wrong. I want to know what's wrong with me, or even if there is anything wrong, or if it's just me fearing for the worst. Like, I want to know, am I being overdramatic? Or is there legitimately an issue that needs to be taken care of? Because if there's actually an issue that needs to be taken care of and has just been put off until now, like, it needs to be sorted. It needs to be addressed. But no one's helping me get it addressed. It sucks. Like, to know if I am being overdramatic, or if I'm legitimately, like, if there is actually an issue with my body and my mental state, which there definitely is, like, because there is no way a mentally stable person thinks the way I do. Because no mentally stable person has executive dysfunction. Like, you don't struggle to do everyday tasks because your body's like, no. You want to do this thing? You want to be productive? Well, I beg to differ. Because you have this more interesting thing you could do. So how about you do that instead and suffer? You know? That's basically what my brain is like. Just suffer. You know those sarcastic, like, comments or, like, tweets and stuff, which has, like, suffer with, like, a pink heart emoji? Or, like, no with a pink heart emoji? That is my brain. That is basically what executive dysfunction is like. You're like, I want to do this thing, and your brain's like, no. You can't do that. Or, here's a reason why you can't do that. And you're like, but that's not a good reason. And your brain's like, I don't care. You can't do this now. One sec. Okay, and we're back. So that was just my sister Hannah. She went out with my parents to town because she recently got a bank account, and we were waiting for her card to arrive, and it should have arrived like this week, but it didn't. Like, we've been waiting all week for her to get her card, and it's just not arrived. So, so my parents and her went into town to go to the bank to figure out what the hell's going on, basically. And turns out, the bank had a glitch in the system, which basically meant they sent the card to our old address. So we've lived in my current house for the best part of, I think maybe 3, 4, maybe even 5 years now. I don't know. No, 3 or 4 actually. But like, it turns out, because our old address is very similar to our current one, Like, the street names are both named after birds. So, there was a glitch in the system, so they sent it to our old address, which, by the way, if you don't know, is military housing. There is probably someone living in that house who got something for my sister, and it's like, who the hell is this? So, it's been sorted now, so, you know, she should be getting the card soon. But otherwise, wow, the bank not being competent. Woohoo! I'm sorry for disappearing. I promise I've been listening and just found that one of my favorite fics updated. Oh, cool. Also, it's starting to get late over here, so I should think of sleeping soon. Yeah, go sleep. It's fine. It's fine. You know? Does that look good? It looks kind of good, I think. Jojo got them nails though. But yeah, the bank fricked up, so they sorted that out now. So it should be alright. Should be getting a card soon. Honestly. Sometimes you just don't heckin' know, huh? I'm going to make him wear smart trousers. Because our boy is a dapper posh boy. And I am not letting dapper posh boy not wear smart trousers. Okay, I'll get some rest. Enjoy your stream. Love you, bubs. Love you too, sweetheart. Hope you sleep well. I've been drawing like JJ this whole stream. This stream's been going for like an hour and 10. Well, I've actually been drawing for like an hour, but still. I've been drawing like solely JJ this whole time. So that's fun. Yeah, so like the 2 hours prior to the stream, I was cleaning with my family. Well, for the first hour I was cleaning by myself because parents had gone out and my sisters, their dumbasses, were still like snoozing away peacefully in their beds, unaware that I was like angry cleaning downstairs. The reason behind the angry cleaning is because like I got told last minute that my parents had invited someone over for like dinner, and that pisses me off because I was like planning to stream and I was like, okay, so I've got the art down, I've got this stuff ready and all that, and then I came downstairs this morning and my parents were like, oh yeah, we're inviting our friend over because she's kind of lonely at the moment because her husband is away. Or she's split from her husband. I'm not sure what. If she's split from her husband, it's not her husband anymore. Right? Like, I'm not entirely sure. I could be reading that wrong. Like, it could be that, like, oh, they're living in different houses for different reasons. Or they're, like, split up, which means that's her ex-husband. I don't know. They didn't explain it, but like, basically, they told me last minute that, oh, we've invited a friend over. And I was like, You what? And so they're like, yeah, we've been telling you like all week, or we told you at some point during the week. And I was like, but you didn't. I have no idea who you're talking about. What the are you talking about? So they just invited someone over, and that gives us an excuse to clean the whole house, which bothers me, because like, why do we have to clean the house for adults when we invite our friends over, or my sisters invite from their friends over? I don't ever invite my friends over here, but like, if my sisters invite their friends over, we don't have to clean the house for them. Well, why do we not have to clean our house for them? Yeah, they're not going to be sitting down in the living room all day, but you know, it's still nice to do so. So what's behind the rudeness? Like, why do we have to clean for adults and then not for our own friends? Or like vice versa. Why do we not have to clean for our friends, but we have to clean for theirs? Like, can we just leave the house as it is? Like, please? Please, mon amour? Can we please, like, discuss this? At the very least? Like, here's the thing. They invite their friends around willy-nilly. Like, it's not often they do it, but whenever they do, they don't consult us first, as their kids and the other occupants of this goddamn house who have a brain and an opinion. Like, I get it. You're the adults of the household. You shouldn't need to, like, get our consent. But I'm not asking for consent. I'm asking for, like, notice. Like, it's like, so we're inviting this friend over for dinner. Is that okay by you guys? Which, yeah, actually sounds like consent, but, like, we have to run it by our parents if we want to invite a friend over. Which sucks, but, so, why should they not have to do the same for our friends? They're, like, wait, hold on. Why should they not have to do the same for their friends? There we go. Correct words. But, why should they not consult us first? Like, I get it. We're probably gonna say no. But, like, we'll also probably say yes because we have to people please our fucking parents, because otherwise they get pissed off and it affects the entire family. Especially if it's dad. If dad's pissed off, oh my god, it's a fucking nightmare. Like, why do we even fucking bother trying to please him? There is nothing that will make that man happy once he is in a bad mood. Like, the best thing you can do when dad is in a bad mood is to leave him the fuck alone. Like, if it's a bad mood because, oh, you didn't do the dishwasher, well, fucking boo-hoo, I guess, but, like, he needs to grow up just a little bit. It's like, boo-hoo, we didn't do the dishwasher. Like, one of the worst sentences I have ever heard him utter is, when did your last slave die off? Like, are you joking me? Like, I'm not great with abusive language. I'm not the best at noticing it when it's not completely obvious, but holy shit, that has got to be abusive language. That cannot be okay to tell your children, in any circumstance. When did your last slave die off? Like, come on, man. That is so fucking uncool. Like, why in the fresh hell would you say that? I'm just gonna erase it. I'm gonna put it on a different thing, because he's getting swung, though. He's getting swung, so his hair's gonna be, like, flying out like this. Just use that as, like, a base for it, but, like... It cannot be okay to say to your children, when did your last slave die off? Like, I get it. You're mad that we haven't done this chore yet. Okay. Fine. We'll do it now that you've yelled at us. Which is, like, legitimately always the case, especially if it's washing up. But, like... It cannot be okay to say that to your children. At all. Like, all seriousness here, it is not okay to say to your children, when did your last slave die off? Because then that makes them feel completely guilty for something that is pretty much not actually bad. It's like, in the contexts I've heard it in a joking manner, which is fine, I suppose. But it wasn't directed at the children, it was my uncle joking at my aunt. When did your last slave die off? When asked to carry my little cousin, who is like a year old and is still a little funny about walking. Like, I'm not actually, is she a year old? I think she might be. Or she's around a year old, but she's still a little wobbly while walking and is not great at it. So my aunt asked if my uncle could carry her around because we were going to be doing a lot of walking. It was when did your last slave die off? And that was in a joking manner, which to me is fine because there's no harsh intent behind it. It's a joke. It's still not a completely okay joke. There are better ones you could have made, for sure. But, like, it's better than using it in a hostile way towards children. It is so not okay to say to your children, when did your last slave die off? Yes, okay, we haven't done the chore. You don't need to be so fucking rude about it. Like, come on. The bar cannot be that fucking low. That is an okay thing to say to your children. The bar cannot be that fucking low. If I draw the hat, and then just nicking your hat, man. It's sort of a nice drawing, but like, my dad has said some very questionable things to us. Not questionable as in sexual, but questionable as in that has got to be some toxic language. Like, that cannot be an okay thing to say. Like, I don't want to be that person, but I also really, really do. I don't want to be that person that goes, if your parents said that to you, would you be okay with that? Like, I don't want to be that person. Like, I don't want to be that guy who's like, yeah, but if that happened to you, would that be okay? the same time, you need to understand that if you would not want your parents to say that to you, why is it okay for you to say it? Why, in any universe, would that be an okay thing to say to your kid if you would not want your parents to say that to you? That's a thing I think most parents need to think about. Is this going to hurt my child? If I say this, would I want to hear my parents say this thing to me if I was in this position? Like, I get it, most parents, they don't think about that in the time of anger. But I think they need to. They need to stop and think for just a goddamn moment. Is this okay? Is the way I'm speaking to them okay? Because most of the time, it's not. It is not okay to talk to your children like that. At all. Ever. Like, it should not. The bar should not be that fucking low. Because if you yell at your child like that, if you talk to your child in that manner, when they grow up, when a significant other treats them better than you treated them, they're going to be confused. They're also going to be, like, relieved. Because they're not getting yelled at. That's the thing. The bar should not be that fucking low. That when their partner does not yell at them for something, they are almost brought to tears. Like, that should not be where the fucking bar is. That should not be anywhere near where the bar is. It should not be that low that when they show decent human kindness and understanding that, oh, it was an accident, or, oh, you just forgot, and this is not actually you deliberately trying to avoid doing it. Like, it should not be the limit. It should not be where the bar is. At all. Ever. When a partner shows them decent human kindness instead of yelling at them, and they're brought to tears, that means you fucked up. That means that the gesture of basic human kindness and decency, you didn't give them. That you deprived them of that, like, sole thing that you would call a luxury. Decent, like, basic human kindness, and you deprive them of this thing. That is not okay. Ever. It is not okay, in any sense of the word, for that to be their reaction. A person should not be brought to tears at the very thoughts of human kindness. Like, it is never okay to be brought to tears by a basic act of human kindness because your parents were like that. That should not be the bar. That should not be where the bar sits. But unfortunately, for quite a lot of people, that is where the bar sits. That is where the bar sits, and that is not an okay thing to admit. That is unfortunately the reality of the situation. parents are abusive, don't realize it, and then they turn around when the child is an adult and they're just so defensive. I brought you up right. I didn't abuse you. Yeah, well, different things affect different people differently. Anything that could be too harsh could be trauma to a child. Like my cat that died like 5-6 years ago. Like almost 6 years ago actually. Like that cat meant the world to me. And I still cry over him to this day. That hurts. But that is a trauma to me. My cat died. This cat that I had known my entire life, which had been there since the day I was brought home from the hospital after being born. Like that cat's gone, man. That cat is gone. And it still hurts to think about. But also, words can hurt. If you use certain language on a child and they think that's okay, then it ends up not being okay. Because why would that be okay? Why would that be okay? Why would the abuse of a child be okay? Newsflash, it's fucking not. Never. It is never okay to abuse a child. Like, I get it. Child's an asshole. So, that's an excuse. The child's an asshole, you probably did something to affect that. I should probably talk about something else, to be honest. Delve too deep into trauma territory and then... Oops. I fucked up. That's how most things are, to be honest. Like, parents don't realize it, but sometimes they do accidentally traumatize their kids. Like, even in ways that were completely unintentional. Like, if you're a child and you accidentally hear your parents going at it. After, like, sex ed. Like, I was, like, 14, and I was staying up because it was late, and I wanted to watch something. And I had my headphones off, and then I heard them going at it in the room over. Like, because they're in the room literally next door to mine. And that has fucking traumatized me. Wow, that looks really shit. What the hell? Is it because I don't have hair on him? It might be because I don't have hair on him. Why am I doing it like that? Parents sometimes don't realize the things they do to their kids. Sometimes it's actually intentional, which is fucking horrible. Like, if you intentionally traumatize your child, you are, like, the worst parent in the fucking world. You are, like, the scum of the goddamn earth, and I hate you with all my fucking heart. How dare you traumatize your own child for your own fucking selfish amusement. Like, that is not okay. That is never okay to deliberately traumatize your child. Like, if you do it by accident, then it's an accident. You did not mean to do that. And half the time when once they find out that they've accidentally traumatized their child, accidentally done it, if they're a horrible parent, like if they don't show any sign of sympathy after they realize that they traumatized you, then they're a fucking horrible parent. Just open up your eyes, buddy. That is a huge fucking red flag. That's also something. Like, when you think of the word relationship, you think of, oh, kisses, cuddles, oh, romance. But actually, relationships are much deeper than that. The concept of relationships is much broader than just romance. You can have a relationship with, like, your parents, or your siblings, or your friends. But those are different types of relationships. You have your familial relationships, which are your family. You have your romantic relationships, which you obviously guess, romance. But also, you have, like, you also have, well, you also have, like, platonic relationships. And that sort of thing. Like, I get it. Most people's idea of a relationship is romance. Because that's what the media portrays. A relationship is nothing but romance. And maybe a bit of spicy, but that depends on who you are. But, like, relationships are different. You can have family relationships, friend relationships. Like, a relationship is not defined by the romantic intent. Because if you're having romantic intent with your fucking family, ew. That is called incest, my friend. Please stop. But also, like, come on, man. Like, when people think of abusive relationships, they think of somebody hitting their partner. Oh god, it's fucking lagging. Wow. Oh my god, it's lagging. Jesus Christ. Wow, it is. Oh, that's lagging so much. Holy shit. Oh god. Okay, hang on a sec. Do that. Hopefully it does something. Please do something. Like, I am trying to draw on the screen right now, guys. It is not working. Like, I'm getting nothing, fam. There we go. And we're back. Okay, so. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, when people think of abusive relationships, they typically think of somebody, like, abusing their partner by, like, hitting them. Or, like, calling them names and being horrible to them and that sort of thing. And yes, that's a common, unfortunately, a common abusive relationship. But an abusive relationship can also be with other people. You can be in an abusive relationship with your friend, where they manipulate you to do things that you don't want to do. Like, that is an abusive relationship. If they're forcing you to do things, or manipulating you into doing things that you don't want to do, that is a bad relationship. That is a big no-no. Like, come on, man. it is not okay. Like, if the thing is, you can have an abusive relationship with family and friends. And people don't realize that half the time because they're too busy focusing on what the media portrays as an abusive relationship. And unfortunately for us, the media doesn't show red flags. It doesn't show you that these are signs of a bad partner. You should not have a partner that does these things to you. Like, and they need to. They need to show that this kind of relationship is a healthy one. This kind of relationship is not. Because I know several people who are either have been or are in abusive relationships. And I want to help them, and I have tried to help them, and I've told them this thing is a red flag, this thing is a red flag, this thing is a red flag, and listed off several things that they've said their partner does that are like humongous red flags, so obvious it could fucking hit you in the face. And they're like, yeah, but I love them, and they're really nice. No, they're not. Sweetie, they're not nice. This is not okay. You should not be vouching for them. You should not be giving excuses. If someone is treating you horribly, if someone is treating you like complete and utter horse shit, you should not give excuses as to why you should stay with them. You should not be giving excuses as to why you should be with them. Because that's not okay. If it is abusive, if it is hurtful, if it is hurting not only your mental state, but even the people around you, because you don't realize that. When you talk about abusive relationships, you often think about the abuser and the victim, but you never think about how it affects the people outside of the relationship, especially if it's a manipulative partner, because before long, everything's gone to shit. And the victim doesn't see it until it's too late. They don't see what happens. Because, especially if it's an abusive partner, the partner will nitpick things about their friends, about the victim's friends, that they say they don't like, to get them to isolate themselves, so that when it comes to, like, the physical abuse, if it ever gets to that stage, they have no one to turn to. They've destroyed their entire support system, so that they have nowhere to turn, no place to run, and they are stuck coming back to this abusive relationship time and time again, because nobody is there for them anymore. And this abusive relationship is the only thing keeping them there. It's the only thing stopping them from doing something stupid. Because that manipulator will abuse them and say, no, 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 I'm doing it because I love you. You need to learn. You need to learn, baby. You know? You can't do that. That's not okay. And then abuses them. Like, what I said just now is something you've legitimately heard your partner saying, or something close to that is something you've legitimately heard your partner saying in any way, shape, or form, ditch them. Like, right now. Fucking break up with them. You need people around you to do it? Get some people. Get some fucking people. Get people to talk to you. Get people to fucking get your friends. If you don't have any, make some. But, like, if you need a support system to get rid of this abusive relationship, grab your support system and fucking do it. Because believe me, it is chains. I've never been in an abusive relationship, but I know plenty of people that have. And you can't see it because it's metaphorical, but there are chains around you. They are holding you back, they are keeping you prisoner, and these are the words and the things that your partner are doing that are preventing you from leaving them. They are not okay. If they are abusing you, it is not a healthy relationship. It is not an okay thing to think that the abuse is normal. If you think that the abuse is normal, that being hit and cursed at and told you're ugly and all that shit, if you think that's okay, if you think that's the norm, if that's the norm for you, ding dong, newsflash, it's an abusive relationship. It doesn't matter who it's with. If somebody is hitting you or manipulating you into, like, ditching all your fucking friends in favor of them and them alone, and then they abuse you, or, like, they keep nitpicking things at you, like, my friend, get out of there. And I know it's hard. I know you want to see them as a good person. I know you want to stick by with them. You want to make sure that everything's okay. Because this relationship means the world to you. But it shouldn't, because it's not a healthy one. It is a bad, bad relationship. And you need to open up your eyes just for a moment even to notice that this relationship that you're in, this horrible, nasty relationship that you're going through, is not a healthy one. So just for a moment, if any of this fucking resonates with you, like people watching on YouTube or something, like if this resonates with you, leave them. Just fucking out. Do not hesitate. Do not wait for a sign. Just leave now. Like, I am not joking. If any of this resonates with you, get out. Because if it's an abusive relationship, it will likely only get worse. It will only get worse from here on out, believe me. Seriously, it is not okay to be abusive. Whether that's a parent towards their child, whether that's a partner towards their lover, whether that's a friend towards their friend. Like, being abusive is not okay and not welcome here. It is not okay to be abusive. Ever. Never, ever, ever is it okay. Not under any circumstances, no excuse, no nothing. You should not have to excuse your partner's behaviour if it is horrible behaviour. If they want to give excuses for themselves, fine. Give excuses for yourself. But your partner should not have to give excuses for you, and you should not have to give excuses for your partner. You should not have to be an excuser. You should not have to sit there and just take it. Because it is not okay. ever. Like, ever. Ever. Okay, And by the way, that includes serial killers from, like, your favorite movies. That includes murders in general. You should not be into that. Like, if you are, that's... yeah, honey, you might need to get yourself checked out. Because you should really not be into murderers. Don't say, oh, they're hot though. Sweetie. Sweetie. It is still not okay. I'm sorry to tell you, but it is still not okay. Okay, I'm gonna do Auntie's expression. Which is this one here. I'm gonna do his expression, and then I'm gonna end stream. Because it is almost lunchtime, and I am hungry. And I think, like... I don't think I can smell any food right now, because my door's shut. So the cat doesn't come in and try to walk all over the laptop. But, yeah. The bar should not be that fucking low. Like, I'm planning to, like, block my dad once I leave home. Like, Mum's good. Mum's pretty good. She's nice. Like, she has her moments, obviously every parent does, where she gets mad or angry, and she's just like, okay, leave me the fuck alone. Just leave me the fuck alone. And I'm like, okay, that's fair enough. That's, yeah, okay. I'll leave you alone. Bye. And just leave her alone. Because I have that thing as well, where, like, if I am angry, the best thing to do is to leave me alone. Because I will get over it in, like, a couple of minutes. Well, it depends on what it is. Because if it's dad related, it could be anywhere from a couple of minutes to, like, hours. But if I'm, like, genuinely pissed off, it is best to just leave me alone instead of asking me what's wrong. And same goes for, like, being upset, to be honest. Unless you're someone, like, I greatly trust, like, my partner. Or, like, my close-knit group of friends. Like, unless you're those people, don't bother fucking asking. Because I'm probably not gonna say. Or at least if I do say, it's not going to be the complete truth. Because why the fuck would I tell you the complete truth? Especially if it's dad, I'm not telling him the complete truth about anything anymore, because, oh my fucking god. I can't talk about anything queer related around him anymore. Because he gets so mad and tells me, oh, stop making everything queer. Stop making everything LGBT. I'm like, I'm not. I am very much not. You are just being what it's called an asshole. My dad isn't completely homophobic. Like, he's happy I'm in a good relationship. Like, all parents should be. Like, he's happy I'm in a good, healthy relationship. But also, discussing LGBT issues with him is, like, definitely a standpoint I don't want to take. Like, the whole J.K. Rowling being transphobic thing. Because she is transphobic. He's one of those people who defends J.K. Yeah, he's one of those people who, like, defends J.K. Rowling. Almost heavily. Because, like, she's not transphobic. She's just saying that people who haven't transitioned yet should use their assigned at birth toilets. Yeah, what's to say someone has or hasn't transitioned yet? Like, someone could have a peni in their... Someone could be, like, a trans man, have a peni, and then still have tits. You know? Because, like, what if they haven't yet had the surgery, yet had top surgery? They're still transitioned. Or, like, mid-transition, so which toilet do they go in? Because they have male genitalia, but their chest says female. So, do they go into the female toilets because they have boobs? Or into the male toilets because their genitalia tells them, yeah, I'm a man. I am who I am a man, this is what I want to be. Like, come on, man. It's a whole long debate, and I'm not gonna go into detail about it, but, like, holy shit. He is not one to argue gender politics with. Okay, so this is what I've got so far. This is probably going to take me maybe 3 or 4 streams. So, I believe they should do what we all should do and go into the woods. Really? Pee in the woods. You assume people have woods around them half the time. Saves water peeing outside. It does. You have a fair point. However, at the same time, not everyone has the fortunate thing of having woods nearby. Like, I don't really have any woods nearby. It's sort of just a small row of trees that separates my street from the fucking motorway. So that's not really the woods. Go in the street. I'm not going in the street. I'm not gonna do that. No thank you. I want some dignity, please. I want to have some dignity. But, yeah. I think I'm gonna end it here. So... communal peeing, a group activity. I'm not doing that. I think the dogs are the only one that can really do that. So, yeah. So, the art piece is probably going to take Next stream I'm probably going to finish the like sketches, and then maybe start on the outline. But otherwise, I think, yeah, it's gonna take probably 3 or 4 streams, so that'll be fun. Anyway, I'm gonna end stream, so I'll see you all later. Bye, everybody.